All right. Ever dream of escaping to Rome? Pasta, history, those beautiful piazzas.
It's definitely a dream destination.
It is. But then reality hits. We're talking 35 million tourists in 2023 alone.
Oh yeah, that's a whole lot of selfie sticks to navigate.
Exactly. So how do you actually experience the magic of Rome without getting, well, trampled by tourists?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
And that's what we're diving into today. We've got articles, we've got social media buzz, even a travel newsletter, all promising to unlock the secrets of Italy, specifically Rome.
Unlock the secrets. I like that.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about this material is we're getting both sides.
What do you mean?
We're getting that iconic Rome experience, the Colosseum, the Trevi Fountain.
The mud seas.
Right.
Right.
But we're also getting those off-the-beaten-path hints, those hidden gems that most tourists don't even know about.
And that's really what makes exploring a place like Rome so much fun. Because you can hit the highlights, but then also discover something totally unexpected. Speaking of unexpected, this newsletter mentions something about a mysterious 11th century castle.
Oh yeah, that caught my eye too.
Okay, so you had me at castle, but 11th century, what's the deal with this place?
All right, so picture this. You're in Rome. You've just braved the crowds at the Colosseum.
Been there, done that.
Right. Now you're ready for something a little different, a little quieter. So you hop in a car, maybe take a scenic train ride, and you find yourself at Rocca Sinibalda.
Rocca Sinibalda, got it.
And it's this remarkably well-preserved castle. Like, seriously, you're talking authentic architecture, a real glimpse into a different era.
Okay, I'm picturing knights in shining armor, those narrow winding staircases.
Exactly. It's like stepping back in time.
Yeah.
Such a stark contrast to that bustling city energy you were just experiencing in the heart of Rome.
Wow, an 11th century castle. Sign me up. I'm already imagining the history hidden within those walls.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, though, is it even possible to escape the modern world completely, even in a place like that?
That's the question, isn't it? And speaking of the modern world, I noticed one article mentions Italy's new digital nomad visa.
Ah, yes. La Dolce Vita meets remote work.
Exactly. I think a lot of people fantasize about that, sipping espresso with their laptop, overlooking a vineyard somewhere in Tuscany.
It's definitely a tempting image.
But what's the reality check on this visa? Is it as good as it sounds?
Well, the article doesn't sugarcoat it.
Oh.
It straight up says that getting this visa requires jumping through some serious hoops. You need proof of income that exceeds a pretty high threshold.
Oof. So not as simple as booking a flight and setting up your laptop in a cafe.
Not quite. They're really targeting freelancers with specialized skills. Programmers, designers, that kind of thing.
So it's a good reminder, sometimes of those too good to be true opportunities come with a little fine print.
Always. But hey, if you've got the skills and you're up for the challenge, it could be an amazing way to experience Italy long term.
Absolutely. It's all about, like you said earlier, informed exploration. Knowing what you're getting into before you even book that flight. Speaking of which, we can't talk about Rome without mentioning Michelangelo's Pietà.
Oh, absolutely. That's a must-see, even if it's just through pictures.
It's one of those masterpieces you hear about your whole life, but then seeing it in person, even just a photograph, it's breathtaking.
It really is. And it's interesting because our sources actually highlight a fascinating trend. The way social media is changing how people are experiencing art, like the Pietà, for example.
It really is amazing how a single work of art can generate so much buzz, even centuries later. It makes you realize that art truly transcends time.
It does. But you know what else transcends time?
What?
Food.
Okay, always a good topic.
Specifically, Roman cuisine.
Okay, you had me at food, but Roman cuisine. Now you're speaking my language. What culinary adventures await us in this stack of sources?
Get ready for 24 hours of Italian food in Rome.
Ooh, I like the sound of this.
This is the kind of food experience that leaves you craving more long after you've left. And the best part, you won't find this stuff on those fancy Michelin star menus.
Oh, tell me more. I'm all about those hidden culinary gems.
It's all about diving into the heart of Roman cuisine. The local street food scene. Those hole-in-the-wall pizzerias that have been perfecting their craft for generations.
Okay, so we're talking authentic Roman pizza.
Absolutely. We're talking supla, those delicious fried rice balls,
Yeah.
fresh pasta dishes that change with the seasons.
You're making me hungry just thinking about it. There's something so special about experiencing a new culture through its food. It's like a direct line to the heart and soul of a place.
I completely agree.
While we're on the topic of cultural experiences, Our sources also mentioned something about Italian carnivals. Now, this sounds like a complete 180 from ancient castles and digital nomad life.
It is, and that's what's so great about exploring a place like Rome. The sheer diversity of experiences.
Yeah.
We all know about the famous Venice Carnival, right? But what's interesting here is this mention of celebrations happening all across Italy, each with its own unique flavor.
So instead of navigating those crowded Venetian streets, you're saying I could experience a local carnival in a smaller town, maybe somewhere nestled in the Italian countryside.
Exactly. It's like choosing between a blockbuster movie and an indie film.
I see what you mean.
Both can be great, but they offer completely different experiences. This is a chance to witness traditions and celebrations that are a bit more off the beaten path, away from the usual tourist crowds.
I love that. Now I have a question for you. Our sources mentioned these carnivals but didn't specify if they happen during a specific time of year. What if someone's planning a trip and wants to experience one of these local celebrations?
That's a great question and a perfect example of how these deep dives can spark further exploration.
How so?
The sources might not have all the answers, but they give us a starting point. In this case, a little research on Italian carnival traditions would be worthwhile for any potential traveler.
It's like we're giving our listeners a treasure map, but instead of leading to buried treasure, it leads to incredible experiences.
I like that analogy. And speaking of treasures, our exploration of Italy wouldn't be complete without venturing outside of Rome for a bit.
Oh, where are we headed?
Did you know that our sources also delve into the enchanting world of Umbria?
Umbria. I have to admit, that's one region of Italy I haven't explored much, even in my travel daydreams. Tell me more. What makes Umbria so special?
Umbria. I have to admit, that's one region of Italy I haven't explored much, even in my travel daydreams. Tell me more. What makes Umbria so special?
Well, Umbria is often called the green heart of Italy.
Okay.
And when you see pictures, you'll totally understand why. Rolling hills, vineyards stretching as far as the eye can see, medieval towns perched on hilltops.
Okay, now that's an image.
It's just incredibly picturesque.
It sounds like a totally different vibe from Rome.
It definitely is. What kind of experiences does Umbria offer? Is it more of a slow-paced, like, escape into nature kind of thing?
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
It's definitely a chance to unwind and savor a different side of Italy.
Yeah.
This article actually focuses on luxury estate hotels in Umbria.
Oh, luxury estate hotels.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm picturing stunning architecture, maybe a vineyard on the property, and incredible food, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
It sounds like the kind of place you never want to leave.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of these sources.
Yeah.
They've taken us on this journey from that bustling heart of Rome to the tranquil landscapes of Umbria, showcasing the incredible diversity that Italy have to offer.
You know, it's funny you say that. At first, I thought exploring Umbria was a bit of a detour from our deep dive into Rome.
Right.
But you're right, it adds this whole other layer of understanding to the country as a whole.
Absolutely. It's like when you're really engrossed in a book
Yeah.
and the author throws in a plot twist
Oh, yeah.
that completely changes your perspective.
Yes.
We're still focused on Rome, but now we have this richer, broader context.
It makes you realize that travel isn't just about checking off destinations on a list.
Right.
It's about making connections between places, between cultures, even between different periods of history.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Mm.
And that's what we hope you, our listener, take away from this deep dive. We've explored ancient castles, modern-day work visas, the power of art, the allure of authentic food, and even the excitement of local festivals.
It's been quite the journey.
It has.
And hopefully it's inspired some serious wanderlust for our listeners, maybe even some concrete travel plans.
Exactly, because the real magic happens when you take these nuggets of information and turn them into your own personal adventure.
So true.
So go forth and explore. Whether you find yourself wandering through a Roman piazza or sipping wine in the Umbrian countryside, embrace the joy of discovery.
And hey, if you stumble upon that 11th century castle,
Yes.
send us a postcard.
Please do.
Until next time, happy travels.